What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. This is the NXT review part 19, episode 185. And we're going to be talking about what exactly went down at NXT. I'll say nothing that much exciting, but only just what you would expect from a typical NXT episode. And the ending of the show was a rumored match that turned out to be true, and the results were absolutely accurately the facts. But we're going to talk about that in just a moment. We're going to talk about what started off the show, and that was Tiffany Stratton taking on Fallon Henley, and this match didn't even last for 10 minutes, and I'll say this was probably the match of the night. I mean, not match of the night, the shortest match of the night. Well, I forgot to say shortest. But anyways, yeah, the shortest match of the night. This is where Fallon Henley and Tiffany Stratton fought it out just a little bit, with the grappling gang until Tiffany Stratton grabbed onto her arm, tried to Irish whip her right towards the bottom corner ropes. This is where Fallon Henley spins back, hits a back elbow right into the face of Tiffany. This is where she hits a snapmare right onto Tiffany. Hits a back-legged heel kick right into the face of Tiffany Stratton, or the side of her head. This is where she had her right into the right, face and neck first, right onto the onto the bottom ropes, hanging there onto the left hand side. This is where Fallon Henley slide right through the outside left side of the ringside area, and also inside the apron, when she was trying to get herself off the banner, because she actually botched the sliding maneuver, onto the ringside area. This is where Fallon this is where Tiffany Stratton rolls out of the ring with her, and this is where to see if she needs some help to get out of it, so they can continue the match. This is where Fallon Henley showed that she wasn't she's fine, and she's fine, and she can get out of it for herself. Samson, what do you want? Can you sit right there? But anyway, this is where Fallon Henley hits her striking right hand right into the face. This is where she hits her face first right into the left corner apron, which is the hardest part of the ring, which all the sides of the apron inside a squared circle is the hardest part. And this is harder than my nephew's toy bowling pin. Yeah, that did not hurt, not even a pinch. But anyways, this is where she throws her back in the ring. This is where Fallon Henley hits a flying elbow, a running flying elbow right onto the midsection of Tiffany Stratton, into the bottom right corner Tina the turnbuckle. This is where she was right on the mid rope. This is where she tried to go for a mid rope axe handle, but she gets pushed off right on the outside, Tiffany Stratton pushed her right on the outside. This is where she went right crashing down onto the bottom side rope. This is where Tiffany Stratton sit down and sit down on the apron while she got out. This is where she finally went onto the ringside area. This is where she tried to pick up Fallon Henley, return her the favor by hitting her face first right into the ring apron. This is where she throws her right back in the ring. This is where she runs back soonly after. This is where Tiffany Stratton picks up Fallon. This is where she threw her face first right in the turnbuckle. This is where the referee would count all right, you made your point. And she was repeatedly hitting Fallon right into the face, very brutally. This is where the referee had no choice but to do his count, in a 5-second warning before he DQs her. But before he can do so, at the count of 3, she stopped. This is where Fallon Henley walked we're trying to walk away from her, trying to go to the other side onto the upper left corner. This is where Tiffany Stratton was stalking her. This is where she grabs onto her left arm, try to Irish whip her right towards the bottom right corner. This is where Tiffany Stratton goes for a running clothesline. This is where she Irish Whipper from the diagonal corner at the upper left, like hitting back first right onto the turnbuckle. This is where Tiffany Stratton's like toodle, sweetheart, like boo-hoo, go cry me a river. Well, she didn't say go cry me a river. She's like boo-hoo, like wine to the ambulance or something like that, I guess you could say. This is where she started kneeing. This is where she was kneeing Fallon Henley right onto her neck and to face first right onto the middle ropes. This is where she hits a running hip attack right onto the back of Fallon Henley. This is where she bounced right off the ropes. This is where Tiffany Stratton goes for a pin. This is where referee count to 1, referee count to 2. And then Fallon Henley kicks out of Tiffany Stratton's pinfall by 2.7. This is where one half of the crowd was chanting, let's go Stratton, and then the other half's like, let's go Henley, let's go Stratton, let's go Henley, like back and forth. Like, you know the rules. Like, if there's two over stars into the match like that, fans are cheering for, like, of course you're going to hear some one half of the fans that are a fan of the one competitor, like, you're going to be cheering for them, while the other half is going to be cheering for the other competitor that the first competitor is wrestling and fighting in the ring. But anyway, this is where Fallon hits a striking right hand right to the midsection of Fallon. This is where Fallon hits right back with the face. This is where this is where Tiffany Stratton hits Fallon Henley right across the face with a fist. This is where we'll continue to go back and forth. This is where Fallon Henley got Irish whipped by Tiffany Stratton right back onto the same corner where she closed on her earlier, into the lower right-hand corner of the turnbuckle. This is where Tiffany Stratton tried to go over a clothesline. That wasn't a guarantee. She went face first right onto Tina the turnbuckle. This is where Fallon Henley started hitting big right hands right onto the face. He was like, now I'm going to give you what you deserve. Like, she's sounding like Chris Statlander in the process, because, like I said before, and I'll say it again, she's like the Chris Statlander of WWE. But anyways, this is where she started hitting right hands right onto the face of Tiffany Stratton, right, repeatedly. Like 1, 2, 3, with the fans start chanting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like, and she tried to go for a 10. But Tiffany Stratton picks her up from the corner. This is where she was sitting on, like where she was standing on, more like. And then Fallon Henley finally got herself free and Hurricane Rana out of Tiffany Stratton's power bomb. This is where what's her name? Fallon Henley hit the huge right hand right across the face of Tiffany Stratton. This is where Henley tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where Fallon Henley ducks out of the way, goes for the left corner side. This is where Tiffany Stratton is a double A like spine buster, like a high double A version. I mean, a high slamming double A spine buster version. This is where she tried to go for a pin, but the referee counted 1, referee counted 2. But Fallon Henley kicks out right before the referee can pat them out into 3, like, which making it 2.999999999, double, triple nine, 0.1, negative 0.1 away from being 3. This is where Tiffany Stratton was screaming out, like, what the heck, dude? Like, what? It isn't working. And then this is where she's trying to think of what other move to do. This is where she was trying to go for a her signature move, that was similar to the Green Bay plunge, which she called it a different kind of move. It's like a rolling fireman's carry. But before she can even go forward and try to do the move, this is where Fallon Henley goes and flips out of it into a sunset flip, turning it into the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. The surprise roll up, got the 1, 2, 3, like less than 10 minutes, like not even 10 minutes, like less than 6 minutes into the match. Like, I was like, wow, like I was like, how did you? This is the first time I saw Fallon Henley in the shortest match ever, but this was the shortest match, and I don't think it will be the last one on tonight's episode of NXT because we saw some more shorter match. We saw another short match, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But after the bout, this is where Tiffany Stratton got very ticked off, and she attacked Fallon Henley and tossed her right onto the ringside area and hit her face first right onto on the announce table. This is where she tossed her into the barricade beside it. This is where she dragged her to the side entrance, like the side audience entrance, I should say, and took her to the backstage area. And this is where she tossed her right to the small table, like what they had set that like into this hallway in the backstage area, and she tossed the trash can right beside it, and threw grabbed the trash can and dropped the trash that was in there that has been thrown away by the fans, like the trash, like whether it's like wrappers or cups or banana peels, like something that you will see on cartoons, like if somebody's fighting somebody like in a wrestling ring or at school or somewhere, like on a kids cartoon, like you would see this. That's what you would see. Like you see like thrown away wrappers, like from fast food burger joints or candy wrappers or even banana peels. Like that's what she basically thrown and some used cups like that was been thrown away as well, like from said restaurants as well. And then this is where the fans, I mean, not the fan, this is where the referee, my apologies, the referee, the two referees that were there to break it up, they were like, yo, like, get out of here, Tiffany, get out. Like, you did enough damages. And then this is where Tiffany Stratton was like, you loser, boo-hoo, you are a loser. You were lucky you even got a win like that. Because if you weren't lucky enough to catch me off guard, I would have won that match. I was like, maybe that could be true, but yeah, don't underestimate. Like, and I even told myself this. I was like, I thought Tiffany Stratton would probably win a match like this, but then again, I think she already got a win from her, and also got a win from her and out of this rivalry. So I think WWE said thought of like have her be a winner, like either way, but she got a sunset flip victory, like literally, because she hit her with the most devastating move in all sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. And some tells me this feud's not over. We'll probably see a rematch either in New Year's Evil or even Vengeance Day, and NXT Vengeance Day, wherever their next event might be. But anyways, we're going to move on to the back. We went to the backstage area with Carmelo Hayes meeting up with his main man, Trick Williams, saying like, hey, what's up? And then this is where Carmelo Hayes, like, and him compliment on how they look good dressing. This is where, like, Carmelo Hayes was like, "Yo, bro, like, sorry about what happened last week when I accidentally hit you with the NXT Championship, like, and that was very wrong of me trying to snatch out of Ilya's hands at the time. Like, and this is where Trick Williams, like, don't sweat it. Like, don't worry about that. Like, I'm not worried about that. But however, I want to ask you that I was trying to ask you before you accidentally hit me with the championship, like, or before. And I don't say he even said accidentally at that time. He just said before. Like I was trying to like in the joking way, of course. But yeah, he said. I want to. There's something I want to tell you since last week before you hit me with that championship. I'm not saying it like that, but I'm just messing with you, but about that part. But seriously, like, I want to ask you. I have a question for you, Mello. Like, who attacked you? Like, did you seen who this figure was that attacked you from behind last week? He was like, look, look, Trick, I didn't got a chance to. He told like, I mean, Fred, like, he's like who did you know who attacked you backstage last week? Just where Carmelo Hayes like, well, Trick, like, I haven't really seen who he looked like that attacked me, but I know for sure it had to be Ilya because nobody ever hit me harder than Ilya before, like Ilya Dragunov, or hit me harder than the Mad Dragon. I should rephrase that. and I know it for sure it's him. And then he's the same guy that attacked you as well, Trick. And he was like, all right, but I've been thinking about like myself, like I know this is asking for too much, and this is a long shot. But what if we make this NXT Championship match a three-way between me, you, and Ilya? And he was like, so we could both take him down and make sure so we could both take the gold with us, no matter who won the title. And this is where Trick Williams but you just said you don't know Ilya's the one who attacked you, man. You didn't see anything, Mello. Like, and besides, like it's a besides like a triple threat match, like, are you serious? Like, this is like I want Ilya for myself. Like, and we thought we talked about this. Like, this is a Trick Mello game. Like, we do things one on one when it comes of fighting for ourselves for the championship, especially. And then this is where Trick Williams was like I want to I won the Iron Survivor challenge for a reason to get to be you go one on one with Ilya Dragunov for the championship that I always wanted to win for the past couple of years I've been here. And he's like, and that's the point of the Iron Survivor challenge, like that me and alone get a title shot for the NXT Championship. And Carmelo Hayes responded saying like, no, like I'm not saying like for me to get the championship, like it. And besides, it doesn't matter who wins the championship, anyways. Like as long as we have it in our possession, right? And then this is where Trick Williams is like, it does matter when it comes to me being the challenger. Like, and when you on those titles before and those matches, like whether if you were the North American or the NXT title itself, like you did it all by yourself. Like, and it was all and he was like, and he also said his was like, I want and another thing like I want him one on one, like just like you did, like when you faced him, like when you were champion and challenger. And then this would come out. He's like, right, like you're right, and he's like, I just want to see, I just want him to get paid for what he did to both me and you. And here's a Trick Williams, like it's all good, like Mello. Like, hopefully you understand what I'm saying is like. I hope you understand, Mello. Like what I'm saying is, like I want him all, like I want them all for myself in this one-on-one match, and I am, and that's that, and it's a principle of the matter. Like me winning the Iron Survivor match, like it guarantees that it's going to be one-on-one on who's the Iron Survivor, of course. Yeah, and then and it's where And this is where Carmelo Hayes like, yeah, I understand. Like, yeah, you just gotta do what you do. Like, you whoop that Trick and get and take care of that business. And this is where Trick Miller is like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of that business. And also, he's like, and then he's like, I'm gonna do this at Trick Mel game way. And when I beat Ilya Dragunov, like I want you to help me train. Like I need you by my side, dog. Though, like yeah, like and this is where Carmelo Hayes like, all right, like that's what I can do. Like make sure that everything goes fair. I was like even if he did attack you, like what makes you want to be added to the match? Like you could have said like you could be in ringside, like unless you're guilty that you're the one that attacked him, which it don't really add up. What the reason why he wants to be added to the match, though, it'll be something like if he said he'll be on the sides, then make sure he does not do anything slick like he did to both of them, like attacking them, like and I quote, of course, but I don't think Ilya is the one that attacked Mello. I mean, Trick, and also not to mention Mello because Mello could be pretending that he got attacked by the Mad Dragon just to make it look like it was Ilya Dragunov, because first it looked like it was Alexis King, but after that after that he covered he mixed that up with Ilya Dragunov being the one that attacked him and Ilya Dragunov, which we'll probably see who's the real attacker by New Year's Eve, which is 14 days from now. But who do you think's the attacker? Like, again, let me know in the comments down below. And also, what's your thoughts on this segment as well? Let me know also about that in the comment section. Well, let's move on to the next match, which is, or segment, I should say. This is where Ilya Dragunov was in the ring, like cutting the promo, like in the, like, like in the, and addressed and denied the claims that Carmelo Hayes had for him about him being Trick Williams' attacker and also Melo's attacker. And he's like this year so far, like I've been doing everything like I dreamed of doing, like ever since joining the WWE, winning the NXT Championship, moving over to the United States, and even though like this being the third wheel and the issues between Trick and Melo, I was not exactly on my bingo card in 2023. And then this is where earlier talking, I was like, but I did have like what I did have is what I just said, like what I said, like what Ilya Dragunov said, but like I am like the human who sacrifices himself, like a human, like put every single grammar himself in this ring just because like this championship deserves it all. And then this is where fans start cheering because it's absolutely true what he's saying because he is a baby face. And then this is where he's like, now on the head of 2024, I think of like I'm popular, like in again defeat, like fastest right in this like rising star that comes to me for a challenge. And this is where not true. I say Ridge Holland came out. I was like, wow, this is very random. But let's see, like for the fact that this is this is for the fact that he's no longer teaming with the Brawling Brutes. Like, am I right? Well, not exactly right, not clearly. I'll say maybe aside of being the duo with Butch, maybe, but he's still known as a Brawling Brutes guy. And that doesn't mean I don't think it's the full-time stay in NXT. Perhaps just a one-off appearance, like just a fight for a championship that's I would say is available right now, but I'll say fight for a future opportunity to become a championship on the NXT brand because there's nothing for him to do like on the SmackDown brand, even though they should lead up to a storyline with him splitting up with Butch on the Brawling Brutes. But that depends on when that ever happens. Hopefully, this is just a one-off, and this leads up into this kind of storyline, like what's going to happen at the end. Like this is like at the end of the show. Let's say this is part of what's gonna be in store for tonight's NXT. Like with the rumors of being reported like from the pre-taped NXT, this pre-taped episode of NXT with Rich Holland taking on Ilya Dragunov, which was on the Wrestling News about a week ago, I believe. But they said in the next week or two, like Rich Holland's going to face Ilya Dragunov, and it's going to be in I quote storyline, which we're going to see Ilya Dragunov being brutally injured, which we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But Ridge Holland, Ridge Holland, excuse me, like this is where Ridge Holland got in the ring, and I was like, this is very random, but like if I didn't expect him to be on NXT anytime soon, like I would have said this is totally random, but the way they booked it, like if you haven't heard about the Wrestling News, you'd say like, what makes him be back on NXT? Which I'm not sure what's exactly the reason, but I know what's going to be the outcome between Ilya and Ridge tonight, because I already heard it from a previous news video. But this is where Rich Holland came in. He's like, Ilya, I just like want to like I'm here not to cause any no issues. Like as okay, like for the past couple of weeks, like I've been struggling right here in the mind, like area. Like I need to figure out who exactly I'm moving where I'm going. I need to figure out the rewrite like my story. Like so here I back am. Rich Holland in NXT, which I was like, if he didn't explain that, I wouldn't really understand. I still would have been questioning, like I was just saying, like until he gave an explanation why he's back, which he's saying like he's lost in the shuffles. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but this is kind of random. Like you would expect him to continue being in the split up storyline with Butch on SmackDown, like in it doesn't add up like for him not being there for the past couple of weeks, unless that's the point. Like he's lost in the shuffles and on the main roster, and he needs some more development on to the NXT brand. Other than that, like I just don't understand what's the point of bringing him on NXT at this time. Like I was like, it's one thing like if he hadn't been on TV for a while and they already did the angle between Butch between him and Butch, but it just don't make any sense that like they do it like when it's in the like when they haven't even started the program between Butch and Holland, like in a feud. This is what the fans are. This is where fans were saying some very insulting words. The rage, while the other half was clapping with Ilya. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I heard what you said, Ilya. Like, there's fingers pointing on every direction. Like in my career, like at this point, has been nothing but a series of fought to events, like multiple like accident after injuries and injuries after accidents, and I'm here to prove myself. I'm here to redeem myself, which I believe this is like an angle between like I mean not I mean this is an angle like considering like with him having a reputation of injuring his opponents like the likes of Big E and Elton Prince, but mostly Big E. But we you gotta let it go. Like for the fans that are taking this seriously, like he did not purposely try to injure Big E and try to ruin his career. Like, and even Big E even said on social media saying like he apologized like about 1,000 times. Like, and he like about 1,000 times, and he like didn't purposely do it. Like it was supposed to be a spot that went too wrong. Even in pro wrestling, that's not promising. Like it's not gonna be. I mean, not really promised. Like it's not gonna promise you nothing. It's not a guarantee on what you want it to be in the business. And accidents are gonna eventually happen one way or another. But anyway, this is where. But anyway, this is where Rich Holland continued. Back to the recap. This was like you can help. I knew you can help me. Like you can show that I can prove myself again to be redemption, like, but earning, like, and you said, I need to prove that I am the kind of man, like, that belongs in the main event scene, like, and that NXT world title you got there, like it makes you like the measuring stick of the brand, and then this is where Ilya Dragunov responds by saying this, say like everybody around here is always keep asking me for a title shot. What if they're on here on here is a developmental star or development like a development star, I should say, like just for short. And like whether they're a development star that just got here in NXT or a wrestler that came back to NXT, like whether if you have Baron Corbin and now Ridge Holland, like. And this is what Rich Holland's like, look, like I'm Ilya, like I have way too much respect for you, Ilya. I have way much respect for this this ring and this into this industry, like and then walking to this open hand, like asking like for anything, like even a title shot, of course. And then this is where Rich Holland was like, I need to prove myself that I'm here to tell everybody back there in the locker room that I will run through every single one of them if they want to be in my way, and until it's you and me for you and me here for the championship. He's one day it's going to happen, and it's going to be very impossible. I mean, not incredible, I should say. I say impossible, incredible, with a N and a C and an R, of course, or not already an R and no, I'll say yeah, it's a C and an R and yeah. But anyways, this is where Rich Holland was like, for my honor, and then he's like, this is the first chapter of this story in the redemption of Ridge Holland. And this is where Ilya Dragunov was like, Ridge, I'm tired of people getting to my face. I'm tired of people threatening me, tired of people questioning my integrity. I promise, in the Braille Passion, as champion. And then he's like, and you, if you want a chance for redemption, right? You see what you stand, or you don't need to waste, because you will find out where you stand tonight, and you and me in the main event. And this is where Ridge Holland went right on, try to offer to shake his hand. And this is where Ilya Dragunov did truths, and he grabbed onto his hand, pulled him close, and he was like, I'm not gonna take it easy on you, if you want to match with me. And then this is where they went stare face to face into the locking eyes, to show that they don't see, so they don't see fear either each other. And yeah, like I said before, and I'll say it again, I guess for the last time until the main event. This is where, this is where this is the beginning of the spoiling speculations of what's the storylines going to head to, with Ridge Holland, with his reputation of injuring his opponents inside the squared circle. But what's your thoughts on this case? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And also, this is where we got Alexis King getting ready for his match. We're just gonna take on who was it? It was Leon. No, not Leon. It was no, it was Dion Lennox. That's what he was facing. It was Alexis King against Dion Lennox on tonight's NXT, on the second part 2 of the round 1 of the Breakouts tournament. Of course, this is where he get ready to take on the former AEW star, but now WWE NXT star Alexis King, where they start off with Alexis King and Lennox, with Dion Lennox. This is where he Irish whip him right onto from the right corner. This is where he knees him right in the midsection. When Booker T starts saying, "Oh yeah," continuing his excitement more than a homeless man in a hurricane. This is where Alexis King hits knees right to the back of the head of Dion Lennox on Lennox. I meant to say. This is where Alexis King grabs onto the head of Dion Lennox and pushes it right to the head. This is where he hits a forward roundhouse kick to the back of the head of Dion. This is where Dion's like, that's all you got. Give me more of it. This is where he does a kick again right to the mid. Right onto his ribs. This is where he's like, you think that's gonna intimidate me, Lexus? And then this is where Alexis King shoves him right to the face. This is where he hits the right hand triple times right onto the face until soon after Irish whipping him right from the left corner ropes of the left corner ropes right to the right side, which Alexis King counters. Is where he tried to knee him right in the midsection, but this is where Dion the Knox like ducks dodges out of it, hits a rolling roll up like into a surprise roll up, which is the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment. This is where they pinned him right down to the mat, like with the referee count to 1, count to 2. But this is where Alexis King put the shoulder up right before 3. This is where in 2.9, Dion Lennox then duck out of a clothesline from Alexis King. This is where he hits a big shoulder tackle right onto Alexis King's left shoulder with his left shoulder. This is where he does it a second time. This is where he hits a drop kick as soon as Alexis King got back up. It's where he parries like, like, let's do this. This is where he hits a big body slam, slamming the back of Alexis King. That's not good. I think he have a little like I would say perhaps he have he probably felt a piercing like a little piercing bump right onto his lower back. I bet he's gonna feel that in the morning, first thing in the morning when he wakes up. But this is where Dion Lennox like start jumping up and down. It's like, yeah, let's do this, let's continue this. This is where he goes for a flying splash right onto Alexis King into the bottom right. This is where he hits a exploder suplex, but this is where Alexis King kicks out at 2.8. This is where Dion Lennox was like, oh, dang it. What to do next? And this is where Alexis King thought he was slick, and he would get back into the thought he was slick and try to roll out of the ring, grab onto the contract of the men's breakouts tournament, or who's gonna win it and cash it in on any time for a championship match for either of the championships. But this is where Dion Lennox, I should say, like spotted this, and this is where it's like, oh no, you don't, like you're not gonna leave that easy. This is where he grabs him from behind from his back of his hair, throw him back. Hit him, but before he threw him back in the ring, he hit him face first right into the left corner apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. This is where he throws him back in the ring. This is where, after doing it 2 times in a row, this is where he get ready to hit his next move right onto Alexis King. But before he could do anything, he tried to Irish whip him right onto the upper right corner. But this is where Alexis King counter out of this and throw him left shoulder first right into Rita the ring post. This is where Alexis King was like, I got you right where I want you, boy. This is where he Irish whip him right onto him into that coronation of a sleep. His coronation of a sleeper, the sleeper twist neck breaker maneuver by twisting his left arm onto his right side and his right arm to his left side. It hits the swinging neck breaker right onto him into the middle of the canvas. Got to 1, 2, 3 in the process and advances to the next round at round 2, which will face Riley Osborne into the left side into the round 2 of the tournament, which will be the semifinals. And who do you think is going to win that match? I think whoever's going to win is definitely going to win the Breakouts tournament contract. But that's not all, because this is where Trey Bearhill came out there with a steel chair and run him off right when Alexis King tried to attack, go for a post-match beatdown onto Lennox. What's his first name's Dion Lennox. That's what his name is. My apologies for forgetting that name. But this is where Trey Bearhill was like, come on, you think you're the king of the breakouts? Like, come on here and show me your point. And this is where the fans were saying, Bear Hill's gonna kill you. Bear Hill's gonna kill you. To Alexis King. He's like, what? I can't hear you. And this is where Bear Hill picks up what's his name? Dion Lennox. This is where he's like, are you okay, bro? And he's like, yeah, I'm yeah, like just bruised up, but and he's like, yeah, and this is where Bear Hill's like, it's still a winner in my books, raised his hand. And I think they should do a three-way. I'll say, but either way, whether if they do the three-way or not onto the semifinals, like considering he never got a chance to even fight in this match against Lennox, like I think they should do like a three-way. It'll be Riley Osborne and Alexis King, and also add in Trey Bearhill like into the triple, make it a three-way semifinals. Winner gets to face whoever declares Miles Bourne. But yeah, I think that they should give him the opportunity. Like since he attacked him, we make this fair for everybody. But anyways, let's move on to the next one. This next slide, which was Eddie Thorpe was like he's like, this year has been like a firefly for me in NXT. Like I put myself directly into a fight of my life against Dijak, and then each battle like it would be pulling on me, and then and trying to make it more hard, like make it harder to see for my family. Like it's when they were in the audience, like I believe his niece and his sister, and I believe his mother was there, like watching when he attacked him with that strap match. This is where he was. This is where Eddie Thorpe was like, and tell the truth, I'm going through the pain, and I would move forward without fear. Like Dijak, you put us together to sell this, you took me out of action, like into this. And he's like, you took me out of the action of being in the Iron Survivor match, so I took away your opportunity of being an Iron Survivor at the Iron Survivor match. Like you took the opportunity of being the Iron Survivor away from you, and he the Iron Survivor match, and he also went on to say onto this vignette, and he also finished off by saying, how about we have a match like that no ropes or anything that's holding us, like it could be no longer included into our match that we're gonna have, like have at maybe it's gonna be at New Year's Eve, like who knows, but yeah, but he's like, how about because like you nearly like destroyed me and my career, like by hitting my back right into that top turnbuckle into the left side. And now I challenge you into a match at I believe New Year's Evil, and it will be like, and it'll be no excuses, no ropes will be involved from keeping us from finishing the match. He's like, what do you say, Dijak? Like next week, it was not. That's not New Year's Eve. It was next week, the final NXT before the New Year. This is where he's like, yeah, Dijak. How about we sell this once and for all into the NXT? Like, how about we have ourselves a little NXT underground, like Hokahei kind of match? Like, and this is where we head back to the arena, into the match, into the arena, because we're about to have our next match, which will be Kiana James and her new assistant, Izzy Dane, I believe her name is. Yeah, Izzy Dane, taking on JC Jane and what's her name? Thea Hale. That's what her name is. And what's your thoughts on that? Do you want to see an NXT underground type stipulated match? Like something similar to the Raw Underground? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, this is where we move on to the next match, which is the women's tag match, which we have Izzy Dane start off with when Izzy Dane started off with JC Jane. This is where she tried to go for a body slam right on to JC Jane, but this is where both women this is where I would say this is when I started off, but I'll say I'm gonna get to the point we had the match it went on I believe it started off with Thea Hale and Izzy Dane, but she got eventually tagged in by JC Jane. They started hitting fists back and forth, and JC Jane was double teamed by Kiana James and Izzy Dane. This is where, but as soon as Kiana James tagged in her partner back in the ring, this is where they started hitting fists back and forth on each other until Izzy Dane got bored and tried to body slam JC Jane, but she rolled out of it. She was about to get ready to hit a clothesline, but Izzy Dane was thinking the same thing, so they hit a double clothesline right onto each other, collision right between each other, right in the middle of the canvas. This is where Kiana James tags in Izzy Dane. This is where she got tagged in from Izzy Dane. This is where she got in and tried to grab on JC Jane's leg, which still didn't stop her from tagging in her tag partner. This is where she started rolling out of the grasp of Kiana James. This is where she tags Thea Hill into the match. This is where she started hitting strikes of clotheslines and forearms, and this is where she had her right to the upper right corner, making an impression perhaps to Riley Osborne. But yeah, she was beating her absolutely hard and hard and hard, harder and harder right into the face. This is where she placed her right into the upper right corner. This is where Thea Hill waved at Riley Osborne, when she waved back with the Chase Youth hand signal go do this, Thea, Thea. This is where she hits a very brutal exploder suplex to Kiana James. This is where Thea Hale rolls right over her like it feels like Rob Van Dam's kind of roll, but instead of jumping up and do a somersault front flip onto her, she just rolled right on her and just do a plain rolling front flip right onto her, like if she was a rolling pin rolling some dough, the way she did it, she smashed her in the process. Even though she's not bigger than Kiana, but that still hurt like absolute sugar honey iced tea. It's like getting rolled over by a mini boulder, I should say. Yeah, it's like that. Like she did it like a boulder roll, I should say. And then soon after, she hits a moonsault right onto her. This is where Thea Hill was being extra hyped onto getting the upper hand onto Kiana James. This is where Kiana James got back up, hits a right hand right across the face. This is where Kiana picks up not JC Jane, her tag partner Thea Hale. This is where she tried to do a spin around like a sit down body slam kind of maneuver. But this is where I keep calling Thea Hale JC Jane. What's the matter with me? I meant to say Thea Hale. Thea Hale try to roll out of it, push her right into her corner into the right hand ropes. This is where she got easily tagged in by Izzy Dane. And Thea Hale didn't see this, so she rolled her over. But this is where she tried to roll her over. But this is where Kiana James rolled out of the way. This is where Thea Hale grabbed onto her arm and tried to go for a Kimura lock right into the middle of the ring, which made Kiana James tapped out. This is where the referee's like, all right, get off, y'all. She's not the legal woman. This is where Thea Hale thought that she won, but she wasn't listening to the referee clearly. Because she thought the referee was getting her off of her because he made her tap and won. But the case was that she tagged in Izzy Dane, which she came out of nowhere, hit a big boot, got the 1, 2, 3. And Kiana James and Izzy Dane gets the first victory into this women's tag feud between between the two and Thea Hale and JC Jane. But it looks like Riley Osborne was not so happy. And I think not just because they're classmates, but also they also have some kind of feelings for each other, like yeah, which we're gonna probably see both of these two stars like get both of these two stars like what's next for the storyline with this love triangle between him and Thea Hale and Kiana James, like into this love triangle, which I think there's not really more of a love triangle. It's more like with I don't know how to describe this. I would say like with 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 Kiana James trying to get with Riley Osborne, but Thea Hill is the one that has the crush on her. But I mean, crush on him. I said, but she's the one that has the crush on him. Like, when, well, I should say, yeah. But I would say, yeah. But she's trying to do that just to make Thea Hill jealous and trying to see what she's better than Thea Hill than she is, which we're gonna have to see in the foreseeable future about that. Well, I'll say I'm not sure why they're making this into a storyline. Like already know about me. I don't really see like romantic angles in wrestling, like romantic angles part of the show in pro wrestling, like kayfabe kind of romance angles, I should say. I don't think unless they're really together, I don't see what's the point. But that's my opinion. Like everybody can have opinions. Like I don't judge them on that, but I'd say like it. My personal opinion on what WWE's going as like it's like some kind of a fairy tale. I should say that's the best way to compare and describe this angle between Kiana James, Thea Hill, and Riley Osborne, which I think he's going to decline Kiana James's offer of going on a date with her, which that will make Thea extra happy. Like, no money that she can have that can convince him and change his mind. Like that's all I can say into the storyline. Like in the storyline's perspective, of course. But yeah, we're gonna move on. Yeah, but let me know in the comments about that. We're just gonna move on to the next. This is where this is where Ariana Grace was like yeah, what a wonderful ending like into this match, and this is where Roxanne Perez is like well I don't think this is because these are the girls that cheat me out of my match like a week from this like a week and a half ago at NXT Deadline. This is where Ariana Grace tried to cheer up Roxanne Perez, which I believe she pushed the like too many wrong buttons for her to be more provoked because when Ariana Grace was like, it's not about wins and losses, and it's about good sportsmanship. Like, and how do you play in the game? Like, you want to fit. You don't want to fail into that path, do you? And then this is where Rock. And this is where Roxanne Perez was like, actually, Ariana, it is about winning. And this is where she slapped the taste out of her mouth, or even nearly snapped her jaw off, I should say, with that slap because she was like, "Ow!" Like she slapped the prettiness off of me. She like my face, like my face. Oh, it's me. My face. Like, am I still pretty? She told her assistant, which even her assistant was even cracking up, like, like, yeah, she got you good on that slap, like, which I would agree on that. Like, I believe she shouldn't have said that because that pushed too many wrong buttons onto Roxanne Perez, of course. So yeah, I believe like she shouldn't have said that. Like perhaps she should have just kept her mouth shut, or even just try to encourage her to not worry, and you should face her and try to get your justice into the next match. Like be more encouraging rather than being more encouraging and not and not and not trying to make her be trying to make her move on to into a feud that she Trey you 1 second, I gotta say this first. I don't think she should have been more encouraging rather than more what's that I would say not demanding, but what's the rather than making her move on to this feud between her and Kiana James. But yeah, do you think that we're gonna have a match down the line with Ariana Grace and Roxanne Perez? Let me know in the comments down below. Up next, we had Dragon Lee taking on either of the team of what's that called? No quarter. What's that? No quarter. The no quarter. I'll say, yeah, you get the point. With between Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne, Damon Kemp, and Drew Gulak. What is it you want, Trey? I want that one. Okay, excuse me for a second. I'm just go do this and I'll be right back, Trey. Okay? I'm not trying to dodge you, but I'm trying to do this podcast real fast. Anyways, yeah, let me know in the comments down below about that. Right, but anyways, it looks like we will have a match between down the line of Roxanne and Ariana Grace, but we're gonna see this match up next. And this is where we got out of the commercial break, and this is where we got again. This is where we have a segment with the professor of Chase U. My apology, Andre Chase and Duke Hudson gambling like the win back the money, but with OTM, Lucius Bronco and Scripps, I should say. This is where Andre Chase was winning back and forth, like winning back to back. This is where he was like, and this is where Andre Chase like, okay, I'm gonna do this one more time. And this is where Duke Hudson was like, yo, don't you think you already have enough for the help that can help you out fully paying back the funds of the financial aid for Chase U? And this is where Lucius and Broncos like don't you can't tell him what to. You can't tell him what to do. Besides, ain't he the guy that tells you what to do? And this is where Duke Hudson didn't like that. He was about to get ready to fight OTM. This is where Andre Chase was like, no, calm down. Like, but Scripps I want to challenge your boys, Lucius and Bronco, into a tag match. Into a tag team match, and if me and Duke wins, I would like to double my money. But if we lose, then I'm gonna come back where I came with, which was a couple $100. But anyway, $200 or $300, which I believe was $300 because he was holding up $300 bills. And this is where Scripps deal. But when you lose, you Bronco Lucia get a tag title match against the family. And then this is where Andre Chase is deal. And this is where Scripps was like, if you can swing that, of course. And then this is where we started laughing with Lucius and Bronco. This is where Duke Hudson responded. He's like, this is where he responds to Andre Chase saying if we have any luck of pulling that off. And this is where Andre Chase was like, we're gonna go for that. We're just gonna go for it. And then this is where the this is where the female assistant, I could call her, or whatever you want to call Tony D'Angelo, the girl that's now teaming with Tony D'Angelo, looking like a intern of Tony D. This is where she was like, "Hey, you're making wise decision, Mr. Chase," and this is where you're making wise decisions. I see, Mr. Andre Chase, and this is where Andre Chase is like, yeah, like why? And this is where her assist, this is where Tony D'Angelo's assistant went and called Tony D. This is where he was like, hey Tony, like, yeah, he's he's making his promises, like Tony, like he's out here gambling the money, making promises. And this is where Andre Chase was like, I already talked to Tony, and he said we already make a deal. This is all fine. And this is where she put her hand up right on the Andre Chase, and he stopped talking. This is like, okay, all right, whatever you say, like Mr. D'Angelo. And this is where she responded back to Andre Chase, like, all right, like, you got yourself a deal. And this is where Andre Chase was like, see, I knew it. Like, I told you that Andre Chase have our backs. And it is where OTM was like, oh, let's get out of here. It is where Andre Chase tells Duke Hudson, saying like next week I'm gonna be paying our whole entire debts for Chase University, and also get our opportunities to win our NXT Tag Team Championships back. Which this is where they start. This is where they put out the dice. This is where he looked at Andre Chase. This is where Andre Chase was like, yeah, I just actually did that. This is where Duke Hudson shook his head, like, really? Like, I hope you have a plan for us to win, because, like, well, winning much funds like this, like, we would definitely need it. We need it for sure. But anyway, this is where we do have the match with Dragon Lee. But not only that, like, not only it was going to be a one-on-one match, like, which Drew Gulak had an idea who's going to be the participant into this open challenge match. And then it was him and Damon Kemp and Miles Bourne. They stepped back, which it was Charlie Dempsey that stood face-to-face to Dragon Lee. Like, and it was him that they selected who should face the Dragon Luchador of WWE, I should say. But not only that, this is where Joe Coffey came out here with his brothers, like Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, as the Gallus boys. Like, and this is where it's like, the bell didn't rung, so therefore I'm added to the triple threat match. I'm like, really? Like you get an opportunity in an open challenge match just because the bell didn't ring? So if that was the case, how come any other wrestlers never thought about this before? Maybe he's like the only guy that has been told a secret of a rule about answering open challenges, even if it's multiple challengers into a multi-man match, whether if it's 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, 6-man, perhaps. Like it only happens like if they come out there before the bell ring. But it's like, but Dragon Lee's like, since I'm a fighting champion now, the next fighting champion to be the exact, like, I'll gladly accept, which he did. So this is where they start fighting around in the ring. This is where they start hitting each other with moves like technical, brutal, and even high flying moves. Like for the case of Dragon Lee, this is where Gallus's Joe Coffey hit him with a power slam on Dragon Lee when they were brutally beating each other in the process. This is where he tried to go for a pin, but this is where Charlie Dempsey hits an axe handle right on the back of Joe Coffey for a save. This is where they start going strikes back on each other with forearms, like with Charlie Dempsey going on forearm first. This is where Joe Coffey answered back with second, Charlie Dempsey third, and then Joe Coffey fourth. You get the rest. But this is where they This is where the last time where Joe Coffey tried to hit the forearm. This is where he tried to go for it again, but this is where Charlie Dempsey ducks out, like sliding down like this, like he's about to do the spider walk, and he pulls him right close to the bottom right corner of Tina the turnbuckle. But this is where Joe Coffey steps his foot right onto the bottom turnbuckle onto the corner, hanging onto the ropes. This is where Charlie Dempsey tried to go for a headbutt. This is where I believe Joe Coffey elbows him, like when he was still hanging on to the bottom right ropes. This is where he tried to go for a. This is where he tried to go for a springboard crossbody, but he gets caught with a flying European uppercut, being the new replacement of the owner of that move in WWE. This is where he goes for. This is where Charlie Dempsey starts slapping his chest like, "Oh, give me more of what you got." And this is where Charlie Dempsey tried to go for a German suplex, but this is where he started hanging on to the ropes on the left side. This is where Dragon Lee started pulling him off of the ropes. This is where he hit the springboard, like sunset flip right back in the ring. But this is where Joe Coffey grabs onto Dragon Lee's head, like right under their legs. This is where he picks him right back up. This is where he tried to go for a belly-to-belly suplex, looking like some kind of a suplex of doom, like a triple three-way suplex of doom kind of combination, because he hit, while Joe Coffey hits a belly-to-belly suplex on the Dragon Lee, Charlie Dempsey was still hanging on to him, and he hit a German suplex onto him while he hit a belly-to-belly suplex onto Dragon Lee into the match, landing both men right onto the middle of the canvas, onto the other side, towards the right side. This is where the fans were chanting NXT, NXT, NXT. And I was thinking, like, if tonight's main event's not the match of the night, perhaps this is the match of the night. Definitely. And I'll say this is most likely the match of the night. I'll give it the match of the night. Right, like at least like 4 stars, like alone for this three-way North American Championship match. But this is where they start hitting European uppercuts on each other. Like, this is where the fans start chanting also, "This is awesome." Like "This is awesome," and start clapping. This is where they start hitting punches on each other in the three-way kind of fashion. Like they say, "You get one, you get one." And it's like, "You get one and you get one as well." This is where Dragon Lee kicks after he's done throwing blows and lefts and right hands right onto both Dempsey and Coffey. This is where he kicks Dempsey right in the guts. This is where he get him in a DDT kind of position. This is where he slides onto Joe Coffey and kicking him right across the face. Like in the process, like hitting a tornado DDT right onto Dempsey. This is where Dragon Lee easily got back up. This is where he tried to go right onto the upper left corner of Tina turnbuckle, like, which I believe he bloopered a little bit because he tripped right over onto Charlie Dempsey, but he managed to got back up. This is where he runs right onto the bottom right corner. This is where he got caught in midair with a huge European uppercut. This is where Joe Coffey tried to go for the Gallus arm-folded flying shoulder block, running Gallus flying cross-arm shoulder block right onto what's his name, Dragon Lee. This is where with Dragon Lee, he did a 2-for-1 combo, like with him. He not only hitting Dragon Lee, but he hit Dragon Lee along with Dragon Lee landing right onto Charlie Dempsey, which he landed face first right onto Tina the turnbuckle in the upper left corner, which made Charlie Dempsey roll out of the ring. This is where Joe Coffey tried to finish. This is where did the finishing touches like going for a pinfall, but this is where Dragon Lee kicks out at 2.9999999999999 double triple nines, which is like negative 0.1 away from 3, of course. This is where fans are clapping for Dragon Lee to get back up. This is where Joe Coffey picks up Dragon Lee right onto the upper left corner of the top rope. This is where he hits a minor chop, which I don't believe Gunther would not put him on the list because, one, he already wrestled him in this time in NXT UK, especially defeating him when he was still Walter in the NXT United Kingdom Championship. So I guess that's one thing. If he wants to fight him, he could just ask WWE management to go there and just give him a match. So I believe he don't have to worry about any WWE wrestlers hitting the chops because he wants them into the. If he wants to murk them, he would do it in a match, like whether if he's on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, which he's gonna be fighting the guys and murking them in NXT and remaining as Intercontinental Champion. But anyway, this is where Joe Coffey. This is where one half of the fans start chanting, "Let's go, Joe Coffey," and then other fans was like, "Dragon Lee, Joe, let's go, Coffey, like Dragon Lee." And this is where he tried to go over the top rope, go for a suplex right onto Dragon Lee, but Dragon Lee hits him right down onto the Tree of Woe position. This is where Dragon Lee got back on his feet onto the top turnbuckle. This is where he hits the double foot stomp right onto Joe Coffey. This is where he runs right onto the. This is where he runs right towards the right corner ropes. This is where he runs to go towards the left corner of the ringside area with a suicide dive onto Charlie Dempsey. This is where he landed right onto him. He got back up. This is where he runs back in the ring. This is where he tried to go back in the ring. He hits a big bicycle knee strike right across the right jaw of Joe Coffey. This is where he goes for a pin right onto Joe Coffey afterwards, but this is where he kicks out at 2.8. This is where Dragon Lee was like, "Oh, come on. Like, are you serious?" And this is where Booker T was even like, I cannot believe Joe Coffey just kicked out of a move like that. And then this is where, Vic Jones was like, "Yeah, that was very close." This is where Dragon Lee tried to go for a crossbody right onto Charlie Dempsey, but Charlie Dempsey caught him in a huge uppercut right to the head. This is where they start hitting right onto the head and face, and this is where he picks up Dragon Lee. This is where he starts hitting right strikes right onto the face of Dragon Lee, but Dragon Lee started answering back by hitting punches of his own right into his face, respectively. They start going back and forth until Joe Coffey hits a very amazing suicide dive, something I've never seen Joe Coffey do, like in WWE, but I did. But even though I've seen him do moves that are very impressive, like that Gallus cross arm diving shoulder block right onto his opponents, but I never thought he would do like a suicide dive though. Like, I don't know how he could do that. But this is where Joe Gacy starts staring at Joe Coffey in a very much creepy way, like under the ring, like under the apron and the banner of the NXT ring. This is where he started doing this, like, "Hey, Joe Coffey, like, long time no see, buddy." And then this is where he started dragging onto. This is where he tried to drag him inside under the ring and trying to get him out of the match for some reason. It looks like we can see some kind of a face turn from Joe Gacy, if not Joe Coffey, but because Gallus is heels right now, and they look like they're going to stay like that for a while. While Joe Gacy, he's starting to be more like a silly gimmick, like with him be like a confused silly gimmick, more silly and more confused than R-Truth is on Monday Night Raw. But anyways, I was thinking like, what is up with and I was thinking like, what is up with Joe Gacy like this right now? I was like, I don't think you would consider consider him a baby face for the fact that he just kidnapped Joe Coffey on here on this NXT programming. But I'll say that he could have some kind of reasons of doing that for the fans to understand, so he could be over as a baby face since he's no longer the cult leader of schisms, like into the heel cult faction. While Ava Reigns and is the assistant general manager, I guess, on NXT, of course. But this is where Dragon Lee got back inside the ring. Like, this is where he was in the upper right corner. This is where he goes for a. This is where Dragon Lee got back in the ring. This is where he trying to go for a crossbody because he knows that's the ultimate comeback move in all the sports entertainment / pro wrestling. But this is where Charlie Dempsey grabs onto him and hits him with a fall away version of a exploder suplex with him still standing with him still standing and them still pin. I still had him pinned. Or should I say, still holding on to Dragon Lee, pinning him down into the mat. This is where Vic Joseph was very amazed, and same with Booker T. With the reaction with Vic Joseph was shocking, like with him saying, "Whoa, I never seen nothing like this move before." And this is where Booker T's like, "Wow, like yeah, like oh yeah, that's yeah, like that's the ability from Charlie Dempsey." And then this is where this is where Charlie Dempsey grabs him into a double Nelson snapdragon. This is where Dragon Lee flips out of it. This is where Charlie Dempsey just tried to go for a German suplex. Anyways, this is where Dragon Lee flips out of it into a backflip. This is where he pointed right at Charlie Dempsey. This is where he ran right towards Charlie Dempsey, going towards the left side of the ring. This is where Charlie Dempsey tried to go for a clothesline. He ducks out of the way. This is where he tried to go for. This is where he runs right through the left side rope. This is where he hits that spinning, flying surfboard DDT maneuver like he do. And this is where he goes for the pin, and he got the 1, 2, 3 afterwards. And he retains the NXT North American Championship like we expect him to. He's going to be doing this in a weekly base of showing what kind of a champion that he is. And that's like what Wes Lee was back a few months ago when he was the NXT North American champion until he got cheated out of Dominic Mysterio. I think he should do that until there's a well-overed NXT star, like whether if it's a babyface or a heel. He should. But in the meantime, I think Dragon Lee should continue winning these kind of matches repeatedly until like somebody that's getting more popular than he is finally dethrones him for the NXT North American Championship. But what do you think about this reign right now? Do you think it was the right move for WWE to put the North American title on him, or should they kept it on Dominic Mysterio? But I think Dominic Mysterio did much that he could have done with the North American title. And he should be upgraded back onto the main roster championship, but maybe more likely a mid-card championship for now. Like, what if it's the IC title, which I don't think he's going to be the one that's going to dethrone Gunther anytime soon, but I think he could go like when it could be that championship like later on in 2024, like when someone like a Chad Gable defeats him for the Intercontinental Championship, like down the lines, like perhaps in the beginning of 2024. But yeah, like again, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Who's gonna dethrone Gunther? But that's outside the point. But what you thought about this match? Do you think it delivered? And do you think it was the match of the night in your opinion, in your book? Let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I would say a big congratulations to. I just want to say a big congratulations to Dragon Lee for retaining his NXT North American Championship, and hopefully he gets plenty more successful title defense with him being this reign as the North American champion. Hold that title for a while, like Wes Lee did until like June or July of this year. He held the title since October of 2022 and held it on until June or July of 2023, like which was like a really good like 8 or 9 month reign as champion. But anyway, this is where the rest of the members of the no quarter what like the no quarter like what's they called the no quarter catch crew. That's what their names are. In the NQ the NQ what is that? The NQCC, yeah, the NQCC, which they're probably trying to be the WWE NXT version of the Blackpool Combat Club. Like for them being a hard hitting quartet that's like a heavy hitting hardcore quartet that loves beating down their opponents. But they're more full time heel, rather than being a tweener, like what the Blackpool Combat Club on AEW are. And speaking of tweeners, I think Joe Gacy's starting to be one, like if not being a babyface. But anyways, this is where Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild of the LWO came out there to help fight off the no quarter catch a crew out of the ring to help Dragon Lee fight him off. Like this is where they threw. This is where Booker T was like, "What the hell they doing here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing." Like, but I understand now because Dragon Lee is practically a member of the LWO, and of course they'll help him out because for the fact that he's partially wrestling on SmackDown and also on NXT into his WWE contract. So I guess that's very understandable. But yeah, they stand up tall. They knock down the heel faction of NXT. And this is where the fans are chanting LWO, LWO. And this is where Dragon Lee stand up tall, still the champion. And this is where we move on to the next slide, which is the next round of round one, which was who was it? It was up next. It was the second match of part two of the it was the second round of the part two of round one of the breakouts tournament, I should say. Next up, it was part two of round one of the breakouts tournament, which was with Luca Crucified taking on Tavion Heights. That's what I say. Yeah. This is where he put him in a hammerlock. This is where Tavion Heights put Crucified into it. That's where he got him into an arm lock. This is where Crucified it's an elbow right into the midsection. This is where Tavion Heights hits a right hand right into his face. This is where he tried to go for a belly to belly suplex right onto Luca Crucified. This is where he pushed Crucified with a slamming a slamming face buster maneuver, like when he pick him up like a sideways slam, but hit him face first right into the canvas. This is where Heights grab on the Crucified. This is where he tried to grab onto. This is where he tried to hit him with a German suplex, but this is where Luca Crucified grabbed onto the ropes. This is where Tavion Heights was hanging on to him. This is where he had to stomp on his right foot. This is where Tavion tried to grab onto him, like wrap around, try to go for a belly to belly suplex, but I believe he hits an elbow right onto his face. This is where Crucified grabs onto him. This is where he hits a right. Did I say Crucified? I mean Crucifield. That's what his name is, Crucifield. But anyway, this is where he kicks him right into the left knee. This is where he started hitting a single axe handle, running into the single axe handle when he was on his knees, like onto his back. This is where he started continuing to hit a right hand right on the back of Tavion Heights. That's what they were. Excuse me. Well, this is where he started hitting right hands right into the midsection. This is where he tried to Irish whip him from the left corner rope to the right corner. This is where Tavion Heights counters Luca Crucifield's Irish whip attempt, hit a right hand to stop him from doing the maneuver. This is where he tried to run right onto Crucifield. This is where he hits a striking elbow right into his face when he tried to go for an attack. This is where he hits a back swinging neck breaker. This is where Crucifield goes for a pin, but this is where Heights kicks out of it. This is where we. And I'll say this was perhaps the third match of the night. I'd say, fourth match. I'd say fourth match of the night. Like until eventually, this is where Tavion Heights like managed to get back up, runs right towards the left corner ropes, spin Luca Crucifield, I believe his last name is Crucifield. But yeah, did a spin around belly to belly suplex, but I believe that's his finishing maneuver. And he pinned him for the 1, 2, 3, and he set the scores into the semifinals, which he'll face Oba Femi, I believe that's what his name is, Oba Femi, like from last week. Like he beat Miles Bourne from the team of No Quarter Catch Crew, and this is where we have Alexis King taking on Riley Osborne, while Oba Femi is going to take on Tavion Heights next week, I believe, in the final NXT show until the New Year and New Year's Evil, like the first NXT show of 2024, of course, because it is the new year. It will be the new year by then. But anyway, this is where Tavion Heights was celebrating. Like, I'm just 2 steps away from winning the whole thing. It is like Booker T's like, oh yes, like he is. Like, I'm already ready about it. And what do you guys think? Do you think it's gonna be Oba Femi, or do you think it's gonna be Tavion Heights gonna win the semifinals? And the same with Riley Osborne and Lexis King. Like, who's gonna face who, and who's gonna win the whole thing? Is gonna be Tavion Heights, or is it gonna be Oba Femi, or is it gonna be Lexis King, or even Riley Osborne? Which I would say, in my opinion, I think it's gonna be either my prediction, I should say, or my prediction is gonna be in this scenario. It's gonna be it could be Alexis King against Oba Femi. And like it could be Alexis King, or it could be Riley Osborne. But I think it'll be Alexis King and Oba Femi. And we could see either Alexis King getting screwed out of the match thanks to Trey Bearhill, or we could see him win and somehow like win in a dirty fashion by beating Oba Femi. But I think what should happen is have Trey Bearhill be in the semifinals, for the fact that he didn't really got a chance to be in this tournament in the first round. Just give him an opportunity to win and see if he can win this tournament and try to see if he can be the breakout tournament winner to win the contract. But I think if he does be in the match, I think if he does win the match, I think you'll probably be screwed by like if he faces either Oba Femi and or Tavion Heights. But if they did add Trey Bearhill into the Riley Osborne and Alexis King match, which I'm not sure if they will, because there was no announcement that he'll be added to that match. But I think he could screw him out of the match to give Riley Osborne the win. Just give him a reason why they want Riley Osborne to win. And one of the reasons of that, and the reason why Alexis King didn't win, I should say, more likely Alexis. My apologies. I'd say that would be the number one reason. While second, is that Riley Osborne could possibly be the could be the favorite to win this, which I think whoever wins on that side is definitely going to be a guarantee, except for Trey Bearhill if he be added. But I would say it'll be either Alexis King or Riley Osborne, whoever wins the semifinals next week. That's my prediction. Like partially my prediction, I guess, because I didn't name a specific name, which I'll say maybe it could be Alexis King, but then again, it could be Riley Osborne. Like he could be continuing the momentum of continuing to win and attract Thea Hill even more. But we're just gonna only have to see what's next for the tournament and next week on what decision they're gonna go at. But I can think of this theory, like we can see Riley Osborne do get the win if Trey Bearhill interferes in the match next week, like and give Lexus King a taste of his own medicine, which will lead into a match at Vengeance Day, which I believe they should go that path of a new beginning for NXT, another new beginning for the breakout stars and the newcomers into in the WWE, of course. But this is where we got up next. We have Nikita Lyons taking on Tatum Paxley because because I believe she interfered. Not I don't say interfered, but she entered in the ring by trying to continue her stalking obsession with Lyra Valkyria, and I believe she attacked Nikita Lyons last week, which I made a review about that, of course. Like, yeah, y'all should check it out if y'all want to, if y'all enjoy this content. But anyways, this is where you start beating the absolute daylights out of Miss I guess Bernal, I guess you could say in reality, but really Tatum Paxley. And this is where she started hitting strikes right into the face of the former second female member of the Diamond Mine. This is where she hits a big sit down hip attack right onto Paxley's face when she had her into the bottom turnbuckle into the upper left corner. This is where she put her in the German suplex. She tried to go for a German suplex. This is where she just tossed her out of nowhere. This is where Nikita Lyons hits a spinning. This is where she hits her signature spinning tornado kick right into the face of Tatum Paxley. As soon after, hits a split splash right onto her, like doing the splits. Like except she did it like while she did a huge unique spin like right into the middle of the canvas, landing on Tatum Paxley in the process and pinning her. And the referee counted to 1, 2, 3 to get her revenge on the Tatum Paxley. But I don't think it's gonna stop her from having an obsession of stalking Lyra Valkyria though, because we're probably gonna see I'll say if not a match like this February, I would say maybe at Stand and Deliver we could do the road of Stand and Deliver with Lyra Valkyria having this big women's championship match against what's her name, Tatum Paxley. And what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that will happen? And will you be all in for a match like with Tatum Paxley getting pushed to the moon of facing Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship? Or do you think Lyra Valkyria should face somebody else at Stand and Deliver? And do you think that Tatum Paxley deserves it whatsoever, or do you think that she needs to stay in the back of the line? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments down below. But anyway, this is where we're going to move on to Hank Walker and Tank Hawk taking on the Gallus boys is Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, his brother, and Wolfgang, and his tag team. And that's where they were hyping up back in the backstage area, saying like, "Come on, let's go out there, and we're gonna show them what we made of, and we belong in the tag team division." And this is where we have this match, like with the former security guard and his tag partner Tank Hawk into his match. This is where and this is where we had this is where we had uh, this is where we had this is where we had Josh Briggs and this is where we got Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen backstage having a conversation like with and then, or let me rephrase that. How about like this is where we got a backstage segment with Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs with Fallon Henley. Uh, I guess I would say the word comfort because they didn't physically do it. They just like try to I would say comfort with words, I should say. Yeah. Trying to help be in a positive way. This is where Brooks Jensen was like, I can't believe Tiffany would throw trash on you. Like, I mean, Fallon, like, are you okay? And this is where Fallon Henley was like, well, I'm pretty embarrassed and pissed off, and I'm very humiliated, pissed off, and humiliated. That's what he said. I'm very embarrassed, humiliated, and definitely pissed off. And Tiffany Stratton has everything handed to her ever since he's been there. She don't know what the actual definition of hard work means, and she doesn't mean what it be to get your hands dirty. Like when I look at Tiffany, the last thing I see is a hard worker, and I am completely not done with her. And then she stormed out of there with anger, like. And then this is where Brooks Jensen was like, I never seen her this angry. This is where Brooks Jensen was like, wow, I didn't seen her this angry before. And then this is where Josh Briggs was like, yeah, like he was like, yeah, agree. And this is where Brooks Jensen was like, yeah. Also on a better note, like I said, he's like, but what, like, how lucky you are, like Josh Briggs, like you got the Heritage Cup match next week, like bro, like you're gonna do it there out there. You're definitely do. He's like, like every time you say 2023, you say it's gonna be our year. Like, what about 23 twice as good? And he's like, well, I didn't say entirely NXT is gonna be totally our year, but I said, yeah, it's gonna be our year, like of rising into this brand. This is where Josh Briggs like, yeah, exactly. And I'm gonna close out 2023 as the Heritage Cup winner. And then this is where Brooks Jensen and Fallon Henley. This is where Brooks Jensen said, me and Fallon Henley's going to be on your side when you face the leader of the metaphor of Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup trophy, like to make it fair out there. And we're gonna. And then we're gonna support you as well, but we're also gonna make sure that you're not gonna be being distracted by Noam Dar's henchmen and henchwomen into the match, and they do try to get a slick victory over you, so. Yeah, we're gonna make this go to a faith fight, and you're gonna be winning that Heritage Cup in one way or another, in less than 7 days from now. And that's where Josh Briggs like, brother, I appreciate that, but I just need to do this on my own to show that I don't need my friends. I need my friends to help win matches for me, like with Noam Dar, to prove Noam Dar, Noam Dar, I'm nothing like him, and I'm someone that's better than him. And then this is where Brooks Jensen was kind of sad, but he's like, okay, but why? And this is where Josh Briggs like, I don't know if I can explain though, I don't think you don't understand this though, bro. But next week I need to ride solo and I need to show that I can do this on my own, when it comes to singles competition. But I was like, and I was thinking but Josh, why you want to do this on your own? Brooks Jensen is your boy, and y'all gonna stay as a team, until y'all end of y'all's time in NXT, unless WWE has something better for you guys, in y'all solo run, in y'all separate individual solo run in NXT, which I think he should be like a single star, but he should have I don't think it's a good idea to go solo on this, because what Oro Menza or Lash Legend or anybody in the metaphor try to interfere in the match, and you don't have your boys because you turn their offer down just to do this on your own to show that you're a future single star in the WWE, which I don't think it takes more than doing stuff on your own to be a single star, in my opinion. And I don't think it's a good idea to do this because for the fact that the metaphor could easily get a victory out of this, and this would not make it a fair fight for Josh. But do you think that Josh Briggs can pull off a shocking upset onto the metaphor by winning the NXT Heritage Cup trophy? Or do you think it's going to be an obvious and predictable finish with Noam Dar retaining, and it's going to be with his and his typical usual tactics like you would do when he fights his opponents in a match? But yeah, let me know what y'all think about the outcome and y'all's predictions in the comments down below. Which I don't think nobody will know unless they're from the future. But if you are, please don't spoil anything in the comments. Like if it haven't been announced on the news video, like if it's not a wrestling news video, please don't spoil anything. I need fans to have fun and not be spoiled, because otherwise there was no point of even watching the wrestling products if we already know what's going to happen in the future beforehand. But anyway, it's better for us to predict what's the matter of the what we need to predict it rather than already know it, because there's no fun in pro wrestling if you already know what's the spoiler. Like you have to have predictions. That's what's going to make it more interesting and more reason to watch the wrestling product. But anyway, this is where we start off with Tank Hawk against Joe. His brother Mark, his little brother Mark Coffey. My apology. This is where he dodges. This is where he got Irish whipped by Mark Coffey. This is where he dodges over him when he tries to go charging at him. This is where he runs right to the left corner ropes, hits the elbow and a headbutt in the process, which I believe the headbutt was probably just an accident. But this is where he Irish whipped Mark Coffey right onto his corner into the lower right near what's his name? Hank Walker. And this is where he hits a big splash. This is where he gets tagged in by Hank Walker. This is where they do a double Irish whip right to the left corner. Hit the double shoulder tackle right onto the dude. This is where they hit a double elbow drop right onto Mark the Wolfgang when he got in the ring trying to help his partner slash kayfabe brother, I should say. But he gets double elbow. This is where he gets double clothesline out of the ring with him going onto the left side of the ringside area. This is where Hank Walker hits a hip. I would say a spinning hip slam right into the ring. This is where he had him in a headlock submission kind of maneuver. This is where he had it locked in. This is where Mark Coffey gets back up. This is where he picks up Hank Walker. This is where he Irish whips him right onto the left side corner before the Irish whipping him. Before he Irish whipped Walker, this is where he tagged himself into the match. This is where Wolfgang tagged himself into the match. This is where he went onto the left side ropes. This is where he ducks. This is where he goes for a duck. This is where he runs right towards the left corner ropes. This is where Wolfgang trips over nearly trip over his legs, but this is where Hank Walker spotted this. This is where he pointed it out and called him out for this. He was like, oh, you want to fight? Get in the ring if you think you can do all that. This is where he gets kneed right on the outside of the ring. Mark Coffey knees him from behind. Hit him right in the back. He throws. He got driven right into the ringside area in the left side. This is where Wolfgang Irish whips Hank Walker's left shoulder first right into the steel post. Rear of the ring post, I should say. This is where Tank Hawk was like, come on, Hank, get back up. You can do this. Don't let him tell you nothing different. Please get up. This is where Wolfgang picks up Hank Walker. This is where This is where when Hank Walker, not Hank Walker, Tank Hawk thought he got tagged. Thought he was a legal man when he tagged him in. But this is where referee was like, "You gotta hang on to the white rope." Like he's like, "What? Why you want me to hang on to the white rope? Like, why does it have to be the white rope, the little white rope for me to hang on to me to tag in?" I was like, why the referee's not letting him in? Like, because he tagged himself in the match. Like he was outside on the apron and that means it's a tag. Like, oh, like I forgot, like he wasn't hanging on to the white rope while doing so. Like, because that's an old wrestling secret, but now it's an obvious wrestling Easter egg, like which everybody would know in the rules of pro wrestling. Like at least the wrestlers and the wrestling fans and everybody in the wrestling, the internet wrestling community knows this rule. Like it's the main rule when it comes to tag team wrestling. Like you got to get tagged in by hanging on to the white string. But this is where he got thrown back in the ring. This is where Wolfgang got tagged. Wolfgang was in the ring with Hank Walker. This is where he started grabbing onto his arm, like they're doing a little arm stretch right onto Hank Walker. This is where Hank Walker started hitting right hands right into the face of Wolfgang. This is where he's like, "Come on." Like, come on, like this is where that Tank Hawk was like, come on, tag me. This is where Hank Walk started hitting right hands repeatedly, trying to pull for him. This is where this is where this is where Mark Coffey was trying to do something slick too to to Tank Hawk. This is where he spotted him, and he was like, "Oh, you try to think you're gonna knock me off the apron? I see, like nice try. Like I seen this before. Like I had encounters like this before. That's what he was looking at when he was looking at what's his name, Mark Coffey. Like this is where Wolfgang managed to continue to have the upper hand on the Hank Walker, taking him right to the upper left corner, his corner, I should say, and tagged in Mark Coffey, which they hit, which he had a snapmare slam right onto Hank Walker, tried to go for a pinball, and got a 1-even count, stomp on the face of Hank Walker, like when he was trying to get up and try to go for a tag. This is where but he kicks him right in the face. This is where Mark Coffey picks up Hank Walker, Irish whipping him right to the upper left corner. This is where he has an elbow strike right onto the face of here's where he elbows him right onto the face of Mark Coffey. This is where he hits a right hand right into the face. This is where Hank Walker hits an elbow right into the face of Wolfgang. But this is where Mark Coffey hits a thunderous forearm right to the face of Hank Walker. This is where Irish whip right to the upper right corner. But this is where he gets pounced right into a shoulder tackle right onto Mark Coffey. This is where Hank Walker accidentally did. This is where he accidentally got the tag, but he didn't hang on to the string to be the legal man. This is where referee's like, you didn't hang on to the. I was like, what the hell, like, and this is where it helped Gallows get the win because they. This is where afterwards, this is where Hank Walker got back up. This is where he gets hit with an Insigiri kick right into the head. Hank Walker did, and this is where by Mark Coffey, of course. This is where Wolfgang trips over Tank Hawk and hit him face first right onto the hardest part of the ring apron, face first into his corner on the right. This is where he goes for a pin. The referee counts the 1, 2, 3 to get the one. They gave the 1, 2, 3 right onto the Gallows boys, for the Gallows boys, and they got a win from the former former football player slash security guard Hank Walker and his partner Tank Hawk. I mean Tank Hawk. My apologies. But this is where we got a vignette of Dijak saying like, and this is where he's like, so Eddie Thorpe challenged me inside a NXT Underground stipulated match. And you know what? Like Eddie Thorpe, I accept that challenge. And he was like, and I don't have to remind you that I put you in the hospital for the last time we had our match, which was that strap match, right in front of your family, and it felt so good. Looking like I'll say like looking like an evil, heartless Terminator, or what's that? The Matrix. I'll say look like an evil, heartless version of the Matrix. I should say, like an evil, villainous Matrix character. That's what he looks like. This was like, like now you want to face me in a match against in a NXT Underground rules now, but no matter. I will make sure I knock your savage ass out, and I'm going to and I'm gonna do so like and no problem. Like as soon as we step foot in those ropes, which I believe he's probably going to be lying because when he try to have a chance to hit a right hit, and he was like, I hit the buckle and I hit you back first. That buckle that broke off and drilled that piece of the turnbuckle right into your ribs, like that make you more pain. You make you feel more of that pain. And I used that, and I used the very sharp part right onto your back as well, not to mention. And I just kept on doing it and doing it and doing it until there was nothing for nobody couldn't do. Like, what are you gonna do when nothing, no one can save you? Like last, and he was like, the last match of 2023 in NXT will be your. I mean, this match on the last show of the last NXT of 2023 will be your last match here in WWE. And then he's like, and I'll see you there, Mr. Thorpe. But this is where we do have them. But what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that Dijak's gonna win and gonna end the career of Eddie Thorpe, or do you think this is some kind of exaggeration that makes him more legitimately threatening as a heel? I should say in his heel persona in NXT. Which I believe that's the case because if he's going to end his career, we would probably seen that happening. I mean, don't get me wrong; he'll probably attempt to, and that's when Eddie Thorpe will come out and counter whatever move that he has in store for him. In store for him, and he's going to counter out of it and hit his move and knock him out inside the ringless squared circle in the NXT Underground stipulated match. Which I believe Eddie Thorpe's going to do it, and he's going to put this feud to rest on the road to 2024, the year of 2024 for the WWE, of course. And I'm sorry if I messed things up by stumbling on my words. Like on the road to the year of 2024 for WWE, but we're gonna have to see what's next into what's NXT's in store for after this match at NXT for NXT and overall in WWE. But anyways, this is where we do have the match, and it looks like he's still part of the Brawling Brutes, and I guess in the side of Sheamus's sake, like until he gets back. But I was like, what's up with him coming out with the Brawling Brutes' theme music and their what's that in their what's that the banner of the Brawling Brutes being on the Titantron, like onto the screen that says Brawling Brutes, and it shows the video packages of him and Butch particular like into this Brawling Brutes. I was like, I thought he's no longer teaming with Butch, but there we go see that he's part of the he's still part of the Brawling Brutes, which is kind of confusing. Like I think Ridge Holland is Like I'm not sure if Rich Holland is still a active member, but it says representing the Braun Groups. But I think on the side of team with Sheamus, he might still be. He's just not a duo with Butch into the team of the Irish slash Britain team, I should say. The Britain slash Irish faction, I should say, if that makes sense. But anyways, this is where we start off the match with Ilya Dragunov and Rich Holland, with him hitting with a striking shoulder block or shoulder tackle right onto Ilya Dragunov. This is where he picks up Rich Holland. This is where he picks him up, try to go for a running power slam, but this is where Ilya Dragunov try to go for a German suplex. Rich Holland start trying to roll out of it. This is where he hits a big big right elbow right to the face of Ilya Dragunov. This is where he try to go for that's where he try to go for. That's where Rich Holland try to go for a German suplex. This is where Ilya Dragunov elbows out of the maneuver. This is where he try to go for a leg swinging through the ropes, rebound clothesline, like Richie knock him down with that such maneuver. This is where he licks the side of his hands and hits a stinging knife edge chops, which I believe it makes it more stinging sensation when you hit the maneuver onto your opponent, which it was very hard right on the chest. But I think it was in a normal sound note, not sound as nasty as the way it feels. But and even if it was, I believe Gunther will wait for him when he gets into the main roster for him to murk him again with his nasty chops like he did a couple of years ago in NXT. But this is where Ilya Dragunov pulled off of Rich Holland. This is where I go again with a second cycle with chops, like if he was NXT version of Eddie Kingston, a guy he haven't wrestled since his independent wrestling days. He started trying to go, but this is where Rich Holland grabs onto his arm, hits a big headbutt right onto the head of Ilya Dragunov, which I'm not sure if it would knock him down entirely, even though that was hard, but still, like, he took more pain than that before. Like, so nothing doesn't easily give him pain. Like, unless he gives it to himself or somebody that can give something harder as he felt before, more harder than that headbutt before. Like, that's where I try to go for a bro kick next, though. Anyways, but back to the match recap. This is where Ilya Dragunov caught him with a headbutt. This is where Ilya Dragunov goes for a power bomb, but this is where Rich Holland started to counter out of the maneuver. This is where Rich Holland was like, "No, I won't. I am not going to get flipped over." This is where he picks him up into an Alabama slam kind of position maneuver. In the Alabama slam position and slam him with the maneuver. And this is where he tried to go for a Boston Crab, but I checked that and he wasn't from Boston. Perhaps he should have called it a British Crab, I should say. Like, hopefully I'm not sounding insensitive right now. Like, I'm saying it makes sense because if you're from a particular city, state, or country, you should be called be from said country, city, or state. But this is where this is where this is where Ilya Dragunov hit him with a German suplex. This is where 2 times in a row. This is where Rich Holland hits an elbow drop right onto the face of Ilya Dragunov. This is where Rich Holland hits a big elbow strike, front elbow strike right onto Ilya Dragunov. This is where Ilya Dragunov hits a Pele kick right to the head. This is where he turned around where Ilya Dragunov hits a big German suplex with Ilya Dragunov's like, oh, like that's very painful. Like, but still, that's very painful. But yeah, I'm still standing here, and I'm going to show him why I'm a fighting champion. This is where he put him in a headlock, into the match. This is where Ilya Dragunov, your iPad. You need to charge it? Okay, Uncle SNA can do it. But this is where we got, this is where Rich Holland got back on his feet. This is where, But anyway, this is where this is where Rich Holland picks him up, try to go for a suplex right off the apron. That's what happened. This is where Ilya Dragunov counters and turns into a DDT, a flying DDT onto Rich Holland. This is where Ilya Dragunov gets back. This is where Ilya Dragunov try to go for a power bomb right onto Rich Holland. But this is where Rich Holland counters out of it into an Alabama slam. But this is where Ilya Dragunov turned into a sunset flip roll up, which is the most devastating move in all the sports entertainment / pro wrestling. This is where he kicks out at 2. This is where he hits a big. This is where he hits a big X bot right onto right with his left. Well, no, his right forearm right to the face. Okay. What do you want to play?
Kaji.
No. I'm doing it, Trey. Don't you not understand? I'm going there. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But anyways, this is where he hits the strike right onto the face of Rich Holland. This is where the fans are like, one more time, one more time, one more time. And this is where Ilya Dragunov tried to go for that. This is where Rich Holland. This is where he tried to go for a power bomb, but this is where Rich Holland flips him over. This is where he went right to the right side. This is where Ilya Dragunov hits a Pele Instant after he slammed him to the ground. This is where Rich Holland hits a big bro kick right onto the head, like his mentor Sheamus, I should say. This is where he tried to go for the pin. This is where the referee counts to 1, referee counts to 2, but this is where Ilya Dragunov kicks out right before 3 at 2.999999999, double triple 0.1 away from being 3. This is where Rich Holland picks him up and try to go for a standing suplex. This is where he started kneeing him right to the head. This is where Ilya Dragunov started hitting the headbutts after headbutts after headbutts of Rich Holland. This is where Rich Holland countered out of it and tried to go for he tried to hit him with some kind of what's that maneuver? Try to hit him with a fisherman's DDT. Picks him up Paige's PTO, which I forget their name of their move on AEW. It's Saraya right now. But it's kind of like that kind of maneuver. He picked her up when Ilya Dragunov tried to hit punches and elbows right onto Rich Holland, but he flipped out of it, hit a DDT right in the head first, right into the canvas. And I was like, wow, oh my God. This is where he got hurt, which I believe, I'm afraid, that's where he got injured. Luckily, they said this injury is not legitimate, according to past reports, wrestling news reports about this angle with Ilya Dragunov looking seriously injured, but it's only just the work, because for the fact that they're trying to make a storyline into Rich Holland winning the not winning. I mean, it's all just a storyline to see to have Rich Holland have a reputation like something in real life, him having this reputation of purposely injuring his opponents, which that's not the case whatsoever. Which I think Rich Holland, which I believe even on this kayfabe, even for this kayfabe storyline with him, not being the guy that injures his opponents on accident, is gonna turn it into turn to the angle, show that he's not purposely doing it. He just needs more development when it comes to his wrestling moves, and he's not trying to purposely injure his opponents. It's just he was trying to do his job as an in-ring competitor, and an accident just happened at a time when it's not on his favor. That's in an inconvenient situation, in an inconvenient moment, I should say. But what's your thoughts onto this matter, onto the storyline with Ridge Holland? But yeah, this is where they took him out in the stretcher. When the referee saw that he was not clear enough to continue this match, this is where it was like, come on, come on, like we gotta go, like we gotta get him, we gotta take him to the local medical facility ASAP. Which, like, if this is the case of if it's being all part of an elaborate work, I think this is elaborate work. I don't think this is serious injuries, and I think he could still wrestle. I still think he could still compete against Trick Williams. There's nothing serious about a legitimate injury. Because and plus they didn't show the X sign. They didn't do no X sign to show that the wrestler's if the wrestler is injured. Otherwise, they would have showed that when the referees was calling for the paramedics team, like to come out there, take him to the first aid room, I should say, and maybe soon after take him to the local medical facility. But they took him out of the ring in the stretcher. I believe this ended up in a no contest, or Ilya Dragunov had to forfeit the match for Ridge Holland, which they didn't say much about the contest being canceled because of this fight. Here's where the fans start clapping for Ilya. It's like, thank you, Ilya. And then this is where they took him right to the backstage area. This is how NXT ended tonight, like in a bittersweet situation. I'll say, other than the finish, I think the match was really good. It deserved the 2 stars. And listen to those fans thinking Ridge Holland is a bad person. He is not really a bad person. When he actually injured Big E, it's not because he purposely did it. It was a miscommunication into the spot. Otherwise, if everything was planned out perfectly, he would have landed right on his back. And it was nobody's fault. It was just it was all just the rush into the spots, in the plans into the match, into the one-on-one match. And for those who's gonna be continue to death threaten him online on social media, please don't. The recommendation is not. It's not for the best to do that. It's not the way to go. It's not for you to criticize him just because he injured. Even if he purposely injured. Even if he legitimately purposely injured Ridge Holland actually purposely injured Ilya Dragunov, it would have been reported that he would have in the report that he's out of action due to injuries that Ridge Holland purposely did to him, I should say, purposely sustained on him, I should say. That's the word to use. But yeah, what do you think we're just going to head into, with this being a storyline, which I'm not sure why would they make this into a storyline. It's only bad enough he's having a bad reputation of injuring his opponents with the likes of Big E, and even Elton Prince are pretty deadly. Please, perish this and move on. Or that's why I say just drop it and move on, but let's move. But yeah, but the point is just forget about it and clear this up and show that Ridge Holland is not a bad person, and he's not a hateful person to the point that he loves injuring his opponents for a living. But yeah, that's what I should say. But yeah. But you let me know in the comments what y'all think about this angle. For those who that's like me, that's understanding the situation into this storyline and about the status of Ridge Holland in his career in WWE. But also, I would give tonight's NXT overall a 3.5 star review because for I'll say it wasn't nothing bad, but at the same time, not that much excitement. Just the typical NXT match. NXT show. I mean, with some typical matches, like within one being predictable, which because we heard from previous reports from the wrestling news all over the web, and also the web, and also I think this is not going to stop. It's going to keep him out of action for just 1 week. Like I can for the fact on NXT television being pre-taped because the NXT wrestlers are probably getting ready to go with their families to celebrate Christmas, which that's like 6 days from now, like less than a week even. So yeah, that makes sense why it was leaked online. Like when fans from NXT showed the video and leaked it online on accident, if that's the case. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this. What you thought about NXT overall? Let me know in the comments below. I think the number one match of the night was most definitely the NXT North American Championship Open Challenge match, except for the part where Joe Gacy dragging Joe Coffey inside under the ring, right through the banner of the NXT banner, of course, and also I'll say third match, the first match of the night, that was, and second match of the night, Ridge Holland and Ilya Dragunov, and I would say the NXT. And I would say and also in the third match of the night was most definitely I would say Alexis King taking on Dion Lennox, yeah, Dion Lennox, and we also have fourth match of the night goes to what's his name? I'll say goes to Heights taking on Luca. What's his name? Oh yeah, it was Luca Crucifield taking on Tavion Heights. That's what his name is. Tavion Heights. That was fourth match of the night. Fifth match belongs to Nikita Lyons. Or no, I'll say no. The Tiffany Stratton match should be third match of the night. Tiffany Stratton versus what's her name? Tiffany Stratton taking on Fallon Henry was third match of the night. Fourth and fifth match of the night was Alexis King taking on Dion Lennox and Tavion and also Tavion Heights taking on Luca Crucifield. Like that was the fifth match of the night. And what was your favorite match and your match of the night for tonight's NXT? Let me know down in the comments below. And I thought they did I think they did a very good job on the way they put on the matches, like with the likes of the North American Championship with Dragon Lee continuing to be making the NXT North American Championship in a whole new level, in a better whole new level. Like ever since beating Dominic Mysterio and proving that he's a fighting champion. And even like last week when he defeated Tyler Bate, he showed some sportsmanship afterwards, handshaking him in the process. Like after giving him a very entertaining and a high praise match, I should say. Yeah. But again, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to hit a huge thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell notification so you can be the first one to know when I upload my new upcoming video. Like tomorrow in the afternoon, which will be my latest edition of the Wrestling News video. Make sure y'all check that out. Episode 186, which will be part 71. And also check out tomorrow will be my latest episode of AEW Dynamite review part 19, which will be episode 187, which is going to be the holiday bash edition of the SNA podcast Dynamite. And yeah, make sure y'all check that out. Hopefully you guys will have a great night for the rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow in the afternoon. In the afternoon, where I'm doing my video, my news video, where I'll be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the, I'll say Wrestle Talk article. Yeah, that's right, Wrestle Talk. But yeah, make sure you check out what's going on onto the wrestling news on December 20th, 2023. But I'll see you all there in the next video. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin is out. Bye-bye, my SNA fans.